Hi, my good people. Good morning. Good morning. Where I am, it's a morning. I've just woken up. You see, I've not even kick-started my day, and that's why I'm saying good morning and good afternoon. I know this video will be watched globally, and also good evening, because I know there are those who will be watching it when it is evening. Welcome back to our channel, Touching Lives Through Love. And here it's all about touching lives through love. Love is priceless. You don't need to be so rich to give love. You don't need to be so wealthy to give love. I mean, that's just a free gift that you can give anybody and everybody around you. And touching lives through love is also all about just encouraging somebody, because sometimes people go through seasons, times, moments that they just need somebody to be by their side, to just encourage them, to just tell them, you know what, I'm seeing what you're going through. I'm noticing what is happening in your life. I'm taking notes that it has not been easy for you. I'm even wondering how you are maneuvering through all this, but I'm praying for you. But you know what? I was also in the same situation and God came through for me. But you know what? Things gonna be okay. In that way, just encouraging somebody, you may be so surprised how much you touched their lives through love. And that's why this channel, it's all about touching lives through love. Touching lives through love is so diverse, is so broad, is so wide. You can touch a life through love in so many ways. Like for us, we are known for our activities in the slum. We do so much activities in the slum. We feed kids in the slum. We mobilize friends and educate kids in the slum. We mentor kids in the slum. We speak to youth and young people in the slum. We have programs for teen mothers in the slum just to touch their lives, and so much. We've been touching lives through love in the slum through diverse ways. Like mentorship. Mentorship is all about sitting down with a young person in the slum, just talking to them, just letting them know that, yes, I'm here for you. Just opening up your arms and telling them, come here, let me hug you. Just loving on them, just caring for them, just being there for them. And today, I want us to think about a very simple way of touching lives through love, because I don't want this to be complicated. I want it to be so simplified to make everybody feel, this one I can do it. As we step into the new year, 2024, I want everybody to feel empowered and to feel strong and to feel that, yes, I have what it takes to touch a life through love. And I want us to begin by just thinking about something as simple as, number one, just asking somebody, how are you? Just that. Just picking up your phone and calling somebody and asking them, hi, how are you? I just called to ask, how are you doing? And the person will be like, wow. They'll be waiting. Maybe you have something else you want to tell them. Maybe you wanted to borrow them money. Maybe you wanted to ask them something else. Maybe you wanted another conversation. But then they're surprised. I just called to ask, how are you? Many people underrate that. And I'm telling you, it's powerful. Because people are going through so much. People are bottling up so much. People are bearing with so much. People are facing so many silent battles without anybody asking them, how are you? And more especially even people close to you. And somehow it's like somebody expects you to just be okay. So at times you'll find somebody's calling you, hello, I wanted to tell you this, blah, 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 blah. Or, hello, a short one, a quick one. Let me tell you, let me ask you, let me do. And people are living in a world of moving too fast, too fast, too fast, to a point people are not slowing down to even just ask, how are you? Even in the house, with your own family, husband, wife, siblings, partners, colleagues, people are taking it so much for granted to just slow down and ask each other, how are you doing? How are you doing? And more especially, I want to think about some people that I will one day come and do another special video about them. And these are the caregivers. People who are caregivers, people who are taking care of others, people who are taking care of maybe sick people, people who are taking care of bedridden people, people who are immobilized, maybe even educating somebody, maybe even standing by somebody and supporting them, being there for people. Everybody is looking up to you. Everybody is expecting you to make it happen for them. And because you make it happen for so many people, nobody even remembers to ask, how are you? Because when people call you, they're always asking about the people you yourself are taking care of. How is the sick person doing? How is the patient doing? Is the patient improving? How is so and so? Are they still going to school? Because they know you are the ones who support their schooling. How is so and so? How is the family doing? How are they? Are they now stable? But nobody's asking, how are you as a caregiver? There are those that you support financially. You sacrifice too much to support them. But because now you are the financial supporter that they know, then they think you support because you have too much, and then if you have too much, then you're okay. And it is true, you could be having too much, because let's accept God blesses us in different ways. It is true, you're supporting them because God has blessed you sometimes. Sometimes you're supporting them because you're making a lot of sacrifices to make it happen for them. But even if you're making it happen for them because God has blessed you with some extra or abundance, so in this life, it's not all about money. You could be having all the money. You could be having all the beautiful cars in your parking. You could be having all the great houses around you. You can switch from one house to another. You can change neighborhood as you wish, one neighborhood to another. You're doing so well. You're at the top position in your workplace. Your business is doing so well. You could be having all that around you. But then how about you? You as a person, you as an individual, who stops and slows down to ask you, how are you? Even in the house where we live, let's even start with the family. Because even our lives in the family are just moving too fast. You have no time to ask your kids, my babies, how are you doing? My husband, how are you doing? My wife, how are you doing? My mom, how are you doing? My sister, how are you doing? People are not finding it necessary. People are not finding it that important. People are wondering, isn't that a waste of time? That I should just use my airtime to call and ask you, how are you doing? When I think I should be using my airtime to call you and ask you, I need this and this, please do this and this, a quick one, please, a deadline, a business, that's how you think it is worth to spend your airtime on. That's what you feel is worth. That's what you feel is good, because that's how we are socialized. But when you think of just picking that phone call to call somebody and say, I just called to ask, how are you doing? Or just type, hi, how are you doing? And you send that text. people are finding it very hard, like a time waster, like it is not necessary. But this morning, I want us to know it's very important. Sometimes you will get surprised. You will ask somebody, how are you? And they will break down. And they will be like, they will now vent and pour out their hearts and pour out their hearts. And you'll be wondering, wow, you mean this is what was happening in this somebody's life? You mean this is what is happening? You know, sometimes you'll ask somebody, how are you? And the person will be like, my God, if only you knew how much I needed somebody to ask me, how are you? If only you knew. If only you knew what is happening in my life. So much has been happening in my life. Oh my God, thank you. Let's give people an opportunity to feel that somebody cares for them. I thought of this topic because personally I've been a victim of this. And those people who know our story, me and my family, and I talk a lot about our story on our YouTube channel that is called Touching Lives Through Love. Our YouTube channel is called Touching Lives Through Love. I would love you to go there, subscribe, like, watch all the videos that we post there, and you'll see my amazing family there. You'll see that God has blessed me with 3 foster daughters that came into our home in the year 2020. We rescued them from the slum after realizing that they are going through hell in the hands of somebody they called a biological father. That story is on the YouTube, and I'll be sharing the link to the story because I know there are many people who are now getting to know us and following us as our new followers and our new family members. I will post that, I will pin that link video for the video of how we rescued those girls in the year 2020. And it was an interview done by Lynn Ngugi at the time when she was in Tuko. And even she has done the follow-up stories on her YouTube channel, Lynn Ngugi, the Lynn Ngugi Network show. So I'm going to pin that link. You're going to watch it. I'm very happy and very honored before God that I was used to be a blessing to this girl's life. Today I look at them and I feel amazed and I'm happy. I look at them and I see, oh my God, even if my days here on earth are over, I have a legacy to leave behind. But me, I'm gonna live and live long because God has promised me a long life. So when I picked these girls and I brought them into my house, and at that time I am a single mother of 1. I have got a beautiful, beautiful, cute girl, a teenager. So for the longest time of my life, I'm only used, actually for 14 years. My daughter, by the time I was picking those girls, she was 14 years. For 14 years, I only have experience of how to take care of 1 child. But then God abruptly and suddenly, God blesses me with 3 more girls. It's a big blessing. And these girls became my family, became part of my family. And I'm happy. Today I'm happy. I can't trade in those girls for anything. I love them. I enjoy seeing them in my house. I'm so happy for them. They're my babies now. So when they came into our lives, me and my daughter were living in this house alone. We're doing our lives alone. We're doing things on our own, how we know it best, you know. Then abruptly, now we have new members in the family. That's okay. But then, don't forget, this comes with a lot of responsibilities. This comes with a lot of adjustment. This comes with a lot of extra budgets. This comes with a lot of rearranging and replanning your plans, your priority. Sometimes turning your plans upside down so that you can accommodate these girls because now they have become part of your life. and they have to fit in your life, you know. And then it comes with a lot of challenges, because I remember at that time I really lost friends, because most of my friends were saying like, I've lost it, like I've lost it. It's in the year 2020. That is when COVID was so bad and so high. I'm a single mother. Jobs are ending like every day. You know, people are not financially stable at that time. And this is the time I'm increasing my family from 1 child to 4 children. You know, so it was a time when my friends could not get it. What am I exactly doing? And in the process, I lost so many friends. You know, the way you think people are your friends, but wait until you're in a situation. That's when now you know who is there for you in season and out of season, and who is there for you because things are working out. So at that time, I want to appreciate so much, because God sent us new people who even never knew us but saw our video through Lynn Ngugi's interviews on Tuko, and people that we do not know, people we are just speaking on phone, would now come into the girls' life, get to follow up on how the girls are doing, how is the girls coping up, you know, how everything about girls. And I really, truly, deeply appreciate from the bottom of my heart, because it is through the friends that God sent us that we sailed through that tough season. You know, when friends that you had in your close circle like move away, and then God just brings strangers to become like your new friends, and you did not know them. It's just God who has brought them into your life, and they give you a shoulder to lean on. They become your support system. They hold your hand. They walk with you. They let you know that, yes, I'm here for you. I really appreciate that. But I want to also echo a period of time when, as a human being, I went through a season of feeling some burnout, a season of going through some burnout, which is okay, because we are human beings, we are not superhuman. And at that time, even I remember in the follow-up video that we did with Lynn Ngugi, I also spoke about it. And I said, the biggest challenge I am facing at this moment is that everybody calling us is all about, how are the girls? How are the girls doing? Are they going to school? How is their health? How is, you know, everybody was, how are the girls? How are they doing? And at that time, you yourself, you're fighting so many silent battles. You are rearranging your lives in very high speed and in so many ways and in so many dimensions. You know, your life is like getting all mixed up. You're trying also to cope yourself. You're also trying to think, what am I doing? Am I on the right track? You're confused. I know, you know. So, but everybody is calling and asking, how are the girls? How are the girls? How are the girls? And everybody is about, how are the girls? I can't blame them. And when I say this, I'm not complaining. I pray that everybody understands what I'm trying to bring out. It's not a complaint, but an observation and even a lesson that I personally learned. So at that time, nobody, or even let me not say nobody, but not many people were driven into asking, Gladys, you, as the person who has rescued these girls from the slum, as the person who is the caregiver of these girls, as a person who has opened your door to these 3 girls, as a person who is actually now on the ground and doing the actual caregiving and provision and embracing and loving them and interacting with them every day, how are you doing as Gladys? Even my other concern was, not many people are calling to ask about, how is your own child? I told you I have a beautiful, cute teenage girl. By that time, she was 14 years. But rarely do I get somebody to ask, how is yours doing? How is your biological daughter doing? You know? So, at some point, me and my biological daughter we got lost, and we got somehow like getting excluded out of the picture. Not intentionally, not by any bad intention, but it is just what I'm telling you, how we are socialized. Most of the time, we are not socialized to get to just ask that immediate person, how are you? And more especially, if I can be allowed to speak on behalf of caregivers, because you're just a caregiver, everybody thinks you're a caregiver because you're the strongest, you have it all, everything is working for you, you are okay, you are good, and that's why you are a caregiver. But please, if you know of any caregiver, they also miss moments when somebody can give them an opportunity to just unwind, to just vent out, to just speak out, to just ask them, how are you giving? How are you doing? Because you've been giving a lot of care to so and so, because you have been going to hospital to see so and so, because you are the one taking care of a sick person. You don't even leave the house. You don't even go to make your hair or do your nails or take care of yourself, because you are selflessly taking care of somebody who is bedridden, or maybe it's like life has stopped for you because you are supporting other people. So how are you doing? How are you doing? Maybe you are the support system of a certain organization. You are the support system of a certain business. You're the person who makes it happen. You're the person who makes the deadlines be met. You're the person who is entrusted to close deals. You know, how are you doing? Yes, you're helping us close deals. Yes, you're making us move higher in business or in the organization. But how are you doing? Yes, you are the financier of the gospel in your church. You are known to be that person who really supports everything that comes up in church. You support everything that comes up in church. You support. But who asks, amidst all what you're doing to support, who comes up to think about you? How are you doing? Maybe you are even the pastor, the minister of the gospel. You selflessly, you are always in church praying for people, praying and fasting, going for retreat, calling for seminars, and making it happen, so that when you go to church, there are those midweek services, Bible studies, Sunday service is all intact. Even pastors' wives taking care of the pastors who are already so selflessly given to us to serve us in church. Who stops to think, because the pastor is always powerfully preaching on the pulpit, how are you, my pastor? Because they're also human beings. They can also break down at some point. How are you, my pastor's wife? Because you're always taking care of the servant of God, which is not easy. The servant of God is strong on the pulpit, but when they come at home, sometimes they break down. Who takes care of them is their children and their wives. Or if it's the minister is the wife, is the husband who takes care of them. But who stops to ask those people who take care of the people that feed us, that inspire us, that encourage us? How are you? Even bosses at work, the people that God has placed to be bosses at work, and they are seen to be in that big office, swinging in that beautiful chair and making it happen for the company, for the organization. Who goes to the boss to ask, my boss, how are you? Right in your house manager, people who are seen to be the least, even your gatekeeper, the watchman, the security person, your house manager, people who are seen and forgotten because they are seen to be very minute, your chefs, your gardeners, who stops to ask them, how are you? Because can you imagine life without that person who is seen to be the least? Can you imagine life without your house manager? Like right now, my house manager has gone for Christmas. She'll be back in the new year. We are already doing a countdown, and you're like, whoo, how many days remaining until she comes? Because until she comes, I cannot move up and about, or out in and out of the house. as usual way when she is in, because when she's in, I feel my babies have somebody who is taking care of them. Right now is my daughter, who is now playing the part of the big sister, and also standing in for our house manager, and she's doing it very, very well, because like now I'm recording this video. She woke up at 4. She did her studies, because she's still schooling. She did her studies. She finished her studies. She went to the kitchen, made breakfast. She has cleaned the house. She has taken a shower, and I'm here trying to give her the support. Who asks somebody like now, my daughter, how are you? You know, who asks my house manager, how are you? Who asks that security person who opens the gate for you in and out, how are you? That gardener, how are you? Because people are stressed and depressed, but who asks, how are you? How important is it? It is very, very important. That's the step 1 towards the right direction in touching lives through love. So at that time, back to my story, when now I was feeling everybody is concentrated on asking, how are the girls, how are the girls, how are the girls? And rarely do I get somebody asking, how are you, Gladys? Or how is your daughter doing? How is your daughter Abigail doing? So people now think because Gladys and her daughter have opened up their home, their lives to accommodate these girls, then they are okay, very, very okay. So now we don't need to know how they are. All we need to know is, we want to know is, how are the girls? Because we feel the girls are the ones who need to be cared for more. And it's forgotten that also the caregiver, who is Gladys and her daughter, are also in need of somebody to just ask, how are you? And let me tell you, because of that, I ended up feeling, at some point, I ended up feeling some bit of burnout. I ended up feeling so overwhelmed, so confused, so bottled up, because now my life is turning upside down. I'm trying to learn how to be a mother of 4. I'm trying to, when I come to the house, remember I'm a single mother, I come to the house, there's no grown up in the house to speak with and tell them, this is how my day was, this is what I'm thinking about this baby has fallen sick before this one has finished medication, this other has fallen sick, today I have enough for food, this time I don't have enough for food. I'm wondering about food, I'm wondering about their schooling, I'm wondering about their house, I'm wondering about their clothing, I'm wondering about too many things, but I am the only adult in the house. All of them are coming to me and, mommy this, mommy that, mommy this, mommy that, mommy this, mommy that. So I'm taking in all their all. But me, I don't have somebody who is asking, how are you? Me, I don't have somebody who I can tell, you know, now, you know, the school, you know, the house, you know, the food, you know, I don't have somebody I'm telling that. So I ended up into a point whereby I felt so overwhelmed. And I know I'm speaking on behalf of many. I thank God, because now I feel better. That's why I'm able to speak about it. And at that time, I was really longing, if only somebody can ask me, Gladys, how are you? Gladys, how are things around you? Gladys, how are things for you? You personally, you as an individual, how are you? So I ended up feeling burnout. I ended up feeling overwhelmed, worked up, bottled up, stressed, and trust you me, that landed me into depression. And I'm gonna come back to speak about how I got depressed, how I went through depression, how the experience was. I know what it feels to be in depression, because I have been in it, and so many people are battling depression quietly. And when you're battling depression, you get suicidal thoughts, you feel unworthy, you feel you don't deserve, you feel you are the worst person on this world, you feel you don't want to live anymore, there is no happiness, you don't see any good thing. I'm telling you, you just let go your dreams. You can let things get so bad in your life just because you're going through depression. So I'll come back one day and also speak about how I went through depression. I'll come back and talk about that. But in all that, I wish I even have a husband in this home. You know, a husband that I will come in the evening and ask my wife, how is your day? How was your day? How are you? And then I would tell my husband, this is how my day was. This is what is happening. This and this is happening. This is overwhelming me. I don't know how to, you know. But then you just end up going to God and telling God all what is happening to you. And I know somebody might even type here or get tempted to say, yes, you should tell it all to God. God is the one who should listen to you. God is the best person to listen to you. I do not dispute that. It's important because it is in prayer that we tell God our all. And it is in God we can get the best solution and the best help. But trust you me, there is a place for one-on-one interaction with a human being like you. Just a human being letting you have a shoulder to lean on and telling you, it's okay, just cry as much as you want. It's okay. It's okay, I'm listening to you talk. Speak. Bring it all out, vent out, and all that. There is that aspect that we cannot rule out. As much as we go into prayer, into fasting, into talking to God, into all that. And I believe that's why God created us as human beings to be social. Because that having somebody who can care for you feels so good. That's somebody who can embrace you at your lowest moment. That's somebody who can just let you know that I love you, I care for you, I'm here for you, I understand, I'm listening. That aspect, we cannot overrule it and we cannot ignore it. But I want to appreciate one friend that God sent to me at that time when I was battling depression. There is just one person that God gave the insight to ask me, Gladys, how are you? And this person has always wanted to be anonymous, and I gave my promise I will always keep it anonymous. This person calls me and asks me, Gladys, how are you? And I broke down. I started crying. I'm talking to the person and I am crying. And then the person told me, you know what, Gladys? You need a vacation. You know what, Gladys? You need a holiday. You need to just go somewhere and just unwind. Just go unwind and just relax and rest and be happy. And this person was so used by God to bring life back to me again, because the person paid for us, the entire family, a big vacation. It was like, was it a 4 or 5 days vacation? That was so refreshing. It was so rejuvenating. By the time I was coming back from that vacation, I was feeling, I'm back to life. I'm back to myself. I am re-energized. I'm rejuvenated. I am inspired. I want to pick it up again. I'm strong again. And that's when I felt, wow. Does it feel all this good when somebody just takes their time to ask, how are you? I'm here doing this video because somebody asked me, how are you? Because somebody cared to know, Gladys, are you okay? As the mother to the 4 girls, are you okay? How has it been in your life? Gladys, you seem overwhelmed. What can I do? And for sure, the person intervened and did something that was my turnaround. That was my turnaround point. That was a point of my rejuvenation and re-energizing. So guys, let me end this video here and just encourage us. Let us form a habit of asking each other, how are you? I'm actually thinking of, even, I don't know what now to do. I want to just come up with a system of making people value asking each other, how are you? How are you concept? How are you? In a day, ask several people, how are you? You might be surprised. That one, how are you, could save somebody who had suicidal thoughts to feel, oh, I don't need to die because somebody cares for me, and they asked, how are you? You might save somebody like me. I was going through depression, and somebody just saved me out of depression because they asked me, how are you? Some people think they are sick, but they're not sick. It is they're overwhelmed with issues and matters. But when somebody just takes their time to embrace them tight, hold them tight, and just ask them, how are you? You feel even like you are healed, you know. So guys, let's end it there, and let's form a habit of always asking the next person to you, how are you? Even a stranger, even when you're in a public bus, when you're in a public space, when you're in your office, when you're in your business, you know, when you're on call, don't be rushed very fast into the agenda that made you make that phone call. You know, hello, you know, I wanted. Don't, just slow down and say hello. How are you doing? How has it been around you? How are things going on in your life? Then now go to the agenda. You know what I wanted to ask is the business deal we were discussing. And then you go now to the agenda of calling. But let's form a culture and a habit of just asking each other, how are you? I love you guys so much. And please show me some love by subscribing to our YouTube channel, Touching Lives Through Love, sharing this video so that many people can get the hope that you have gotten, and even get as inspired as you have gotten. Comment there. I love reading your comments, and I will always commit to replying to them. Just like this video. When you like it, you make YouTube realize this is a good content, and you make YouTube even suggest it for many people to watch because it's a good content. Please subscribe to our beautiful channel called Touching Lives Through Love. And I love you. Mwah. Love you.